All right, so we just got back from seeing The Conjuring 4, and Carly and I did that whole list of, well, that whole review, tier list review of ranking all of the Conjuring universe movies, and now we finally saw the last one. Or at least they say it's the last one. There could be 15 more movies of these coming out. Hopefully not,
The
but
last Conjuring titled
the
movie. It's
last
probably going
con.
to be more spin-offs.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, and then here's, I mean, we could just jump into it. Here's our thoughts on it. When you
Yeah,
guys want to
and
go
also
first?
I haven't seen the whole universe. Just as a side note, I've seen all of the Conjuring movies, and then I saw the first Annabelle movie, and then I saw about half of Annabelle Creation, and that's it. So I haven't seen the rest of the movies like these guys,
Right.
but I have seen all of the Conjuring movies. I've seen Conjuring 1 through 4.
I mean, I'll. Does anyone want to go first? If not, I'll go.
Well,
Um,
Scott, I think you and I kind of feel similarly,
Yeah.
but if you want to go first, I can kind of just like throw in whatever 2 cents I got. And yeah, I'm still kind of I think I know where I'm at with the movie, but once I don't know, I'm still kind of like thinking about it in my mind.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah. I mean, so first off, going into the movie, I had very low expectations. I thought this movie was going to be pretty bad, especially going off of all the other movies. The only Conjuring movie that I actually think is great is the first one. All the other ones are, if they're any good, they're decent or all right at best. Most of them really suck. And the same director who directed La Llorona, which is one of the worst movies of all time. It's not just a opinionated thing. That movie really is bad. Um, the same director of that movie was doing this one, so that gives you enough hope for how you think the movie is going to be. But after watching it, after being in it, it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be. It's still not perfect. It's still nowhere near as good as the first Conjuring movie. But there are some parts in it that I think was entertaining, at least to say the very least. Now, um, there are some things I want to talk to you guys about, but before I get into the bads, let me just kind of talk about the goods. I think this movie does a pretty good job of formatting a overall story. So that's like a very broad thing to say, but coming off of the other movies where either they were all over the place or they were would just drag out a plot or they would just do too much with a little plot. Like this movie felt like James Wan had something to do with it. I don't know if that's true or not, but um, I was
I think that's
getting
true.
I was getting vibes of the first movie. I was getting vibes of some of the good parts of the other movies in this universe. Um, I I was getting what I actually one of the things I really loved was that the performances didn't take me out. There was only like one or two that kind of annoyed me, and it was the audience that Ed and Lorraine had when the boys were like, "Oh, are you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
like
yeah.
Ghostbusters?" Now it wasn't that bad. It could have been worse, but like I you do have to remember like this is the '80s and there were those cheesy pop culture nerds like us, but I still think it's weird to have that in a Conjuring movie. Again, it felt like Marvel humor, which this universe has done, and it needs to stay the hell away. But it wasn't that bad. And the rest of the movie felt, the performances were believable. The story or the character arcs that these characters went through were believable. It was immersive. The horror, for the most part, was immersive. Other than some stuff we'll talk about later, and the scares were actually not as bad as what I thought they were going to be. There were a lot of opportunities that they could have done some really cheap jump scares where they didn't. There were certain scenes that were tension building instead of just loud bangs. even though there were a couple, but I feel like a lot of the time it was just, hey, let's create that tension, which I love because more horror films need to have tension rather than um, jump scares.
Yeah.
And and this movie I think did a pretty decent job at that. I loved the back and forth where it had like the VHS style recording, and then it had like the the live action, regular, style.
Yeah, normal.
Um, and I love that kind of duet they had. I love the um, I like the demon that was possessing this family. However, I think they could have made the demon scarier. Um, I think it looked better than what they did with the second movie with the little girl who was possessed. I think that makeup, or if you want to call it makeup, was kind of laughable. I feel like that they kind of just like I can pull up images, but um, I think they could have done such a better job, like as being a big budget film like that was, and it being James Wan. They could have definitely made her look more, something like The Exorcist or something that, or even the first Conjuring, how like they did with Bathsheba and the Perrin mother. Um, I think the whole, even though I feel like parts of it was unneeded, the whole plot with the the Judy and her boyfriend, and the whole like the Conjuring family all coming together and their chemistry, I thought was actually done pretty good. Even though like you could make the argument that some of it was unneeded, I still think it was done as well as it could have been. It was cool to see some of those characters like the cop from the first movie again. Very like it played a lot of nostalgia, but it wasn't just a huge nostalgia movie. Like this definitely is um, well, it definitely has a self-contained story. And I do like that they made Judy, whether it's lore accurate to the real story or not, I do like how they made Judy involved because it does make it seem like, you know, that it's a full turnaround with what she goes through in the first Conjuring and, throughout the other movies. I still think Annabelle Comes Home is an embarrassment to this, not only this universe, but this genre. So I don't consider that movie in the slightest. However, some of the other movies I do consider, and I feel like it was good to see her and her powers and everything else, and also just the relationship with her and her mom and her dad, um, and that was all good. Other than some like really weird like tension moments they had at the end with Annabelle growing up until like this giant creature or giant doll was weird, but I liked the
That was weird.
I liked when they all worked together to overcome the demon. I liked the bit where I mean the spinning mirror was a little weird, but again, that stuff we'll talk about. But I liked how they were all together and they were all trying to exorcise the demon together, and Ed was kind of like stepping up for his family, and because this is personal to them, it felt that much more, gripping of emotion. I love the part specifically when he like the Bible was his like Bible was burning and he shoved it up against the mirror and like it hurt the
Mm.
demon. I liked that. That
Yeah.
was pretty cool. Um and yeah, there were some pretty like I think the biggest thing about this movie is I feel like it was fun for the most part. I feel like this movie, if you really think about it a lot, yeah, you're going to find issues with it. But if you kind of just turn your brain off and are just having a good time, I think you'll have a decent time with the movie. Like I said, it's nowhere near perfect, but compared to all the other slop in this universe, this is actually one of the better ones. And I think um, with this director, this is the best possible movie that could have probably came out because this movie could have been so bad, so many in like so many moments and so many like situations in this film that it just wasn't, which is why I think James Wan did have a hand in it where he's just like, no, Michael, let's do it this way, where Michael maybe wanted to like do something
Yeah.
stupid or cheesy. Um, And
But also you have to keep in mind too, Michael Chavez, the director, like La Llorona was like hated by pretty much everyone when it came out. Nobody liked La Llorona, and I also know nobody liked or The Conjuring 3 definitely like was not like on the favorable side like the other two Conjuring movies. Like all of his movies that he made were either like everybody didn't like them or like there was a lot of criticism towards them. So honestly, it's either James Wan had a lot to do with the creative control of this movie, or Michael Chavez like straight up took the criticisms and like took notes.
if that's the case,
Could
good.
be.
Good on him because more directors need to do that because I keep seeing directors doing the same mistakes for every movie. I don't know if it's like an ego thing or if they just don't listen to feedback, whatever. But another thing I wanted to add is this movie did not feel like it was directed by him at all. I mean, like the cinematography was totally different, the direction was totally different, the writing was totally different than his other movies he's done. The attention to character development and character detail was way different than the other movies he's done. This movie felt
Yeah,
like it was
that's
directed by James Wan or it was directed by someone else because like the stuff that was in this movie actually like the elements that were all tied together um just felt like it was something new um or something
yeah.
that was
And
actually in
also
addition
I
to the
think
first
that
one.
yeah, and also I think I don't know who like was in charge of like writing this movie, The Conjuring Last Rites, compared to like writing The Curse of La Llorona or
Hmm.
Annabelle Comes Home. But um, while yes, like Michael Chavez like directed it, I think that the writing also like plays a big part in it as well. Like the director, if the director has a shitty script, there's only so much they can do.
Yeah.
Which so that might also have played a part in it. I mean, I don't know who the writers were for this movie. If they were just if there's just straight up if they just are
It's
better writers than the Curse of La Llorona, which I'm assuming they are.
here. I can read it. One of them is Ian B. Goldberg. It looks like he did something with the autopsy of Jane Doe. He did some of the Nun 2, a movie called Eli. And then there's also Richard Nang. He did the Nun 2, also Eli, Autopsy of Jane Doe. And then David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick. He did. Oh, did he write these? Looks like he worked on Orphan and Orphan 2, Aquaman, the second Aquaman, did Conjuring 2, the third one, and then this one. So,
Okay.
looks like they've worked together on the other movies in the universe in the past, but I mean,
Well,
maybe they just
the
did
the
better.
common the common denominator is none of the writers worked on La Llorona.
Well, it
Yes,
wasn't
exactly.
it wasn't just La Llorona though that was bad. Like cuz what else did Michael Chavez do? He did the other Nun movies, right?
He
Let me
did.
see.
He did only Nun 2, actually. He didn't do the first
Oh,
one.
well, okay. Well,
And then The Conjuring 3.
even Nun 2 wasn't good.
Yeah,
So,
Warren
Okay.
Hardy directed this one.
and like even the Nun, so like the thing too is like La Llorona, Nun 2 and Conjuring 3 all had similar like cinematography, editing and like formats to their movies. Um where everything just kind of felt basic, like it was like yeah, like there was some decent moments but like a lot of it just felt like it's just everyday picture format movie. Whereas there were a lot of moments in this movie that felt like I was watching something like Hereditary, but the actual story wasn't. Like
Yeah, there was actually a
in
lot
terms of
of
direction and cinematography.
there was a lot of camera shots in this movie, The Conjuring Last Rites, that I really really liked, and I also um I can't remember if The Conjuring 3 had a lot of it, but I know The Conjuring 1 and 2 had a lot of like not shaky cam, but a lot of like handheld looking cinematography, which worked, especially in The Conjuring 1. It worked. I don't remember that being very present in this movie. There was a lot of shots that were in the movie that did remind me of the cinematography of like Hereditary or like Smile. Like even if nothing like scary is happening in the shot, it's just like the aesthetic of it with the lighting. Like there was one shot in particular that I'm thinking of. Um, I can't remember exactly when it was in the movie, but it was a shot of the hallway in the house, and the lights were like kind of off in the shot, and so all the only light was like the natural light coming in through the window. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, man, that's a good shot. Like, there's nothing necessarily exciting happening in the shot.
Hmm.
It's just a really good looking shot, and it's as simple as that. And I just remember thinking, like, I don't remember seeing that sort of cinematography in the other movies. Now, mind you, I've only seen The Conjuring 3 once, but I don't remember being like I don't remember my hair being blown back by anything in that movie, really.
Yeah, no, there wasn't. And then three, there wasn't anything that I remember being. I'm sure there was like maybe a couple things that I'm just forgetting, but like that movie, it just yeah,
And when you brought up that in this movie, there is a lot of like instances where the director easily could have just done something super cheesy and predictable,
yeah,
but then he doesn't. And I actually like I appreciate that like more than anything when it comes
right,
to horror movies
right,
because the biggest one that comes to my mind well, for one, this movie didn't have that many jump scares. Like there was a couple that were like, okay, you didn't need that,
yeah,
but they were not like they were not insanely present in the movie. You
right,
know, that's not where all of the fear of this movie was coming from,
right,
which is something you can't really say um, for other movies in the universe.
right,
And a lot of the other movies in the universe, just their minds are just loud noise equals scary.
exactly.
But I feel like this movie wasn't like that. And even if it wasn't like a jump scare, there was just certain points where like remember when Lorraine Warren she was like doing the dishes? Do you remember that scene?
Oh yeah, and then with the garbage disposal thing.
Yeah, the movie makes you think something's going to happen with the
Yeah,
garbage disposal, but then
yep,
it doesn't.
yeah,
So that whole scene, I was like, okay, well, you're already teasing what's going to happen.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm not going to be surprised or shocked when it happens, but then it doesn't happen. Like something happens, but it's not what you think. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay.
and
Because
then
there's a literal close-up shot of the
yeah,
garbage disposal under the water and she's messing with the switch, you know?
right,
So I'm like, okay, something's going to happen with the garbage disposal. You just like spoiled it for yourself
yeah,
because these movies have a tendency
to
to
do
do
that,
that.
yeah, which is
And it doesn't go in that direction. And I was like, "Oh, okay, interesting."
which is another reason why I feel like putting this movie much higher, and one of the reasons why I do like it better. It's because this is a horror movie that, again, although it's not perfect, that could have been so worse, but it wasn't. Because all of those other, you know, if you display all the other movies in this universe, um, they are littered with stuff like that, where it's like you obviously know what's going to happen before it happens, and it happens. Whereas this movie, it almost like plays with your mind, where you're like, by the
Yeah.
way, we're not that stupid anymore, and they don't do it. Another scene that I love too was, and I was telling Carly about
Yeah.
this in the car home, was the TV when she was watching the tape back and it kept pausing on the face. I was like, I know they're probably gonna do some stupid shit where the actual face
Oh,
shows up in the
yes, with the
reflection,
reflection.
or it's gonna yeah,
Yeah.
or it's gonna show up. It's the camera's gonna cut right behind her, and it's gonna um, like that one smile jump scare. Like I thought it was gonna be like that, but it wasn't. It goes to the next scene, and I'm like, okay, you guys are learning from your mistakes
Right.
now. So
Well, so, yeah, because because she keeps rewinding and fast forwarding the tape, which that's the sort of tension I really like is when stuff like kind of like in Smile when she keeps
yeah,
like rewinding the audio. I
right,
liked that scene. I always liked when horror movies did that because it kind of distracts the audience from expecting a jump scare in a way.
yeah, yeah,
Because we're trying to look at the tape itself, and in this instance, there isn't a jump scare at all,
right,
which I like a lot. Like, there's not one jump scare in that entire scene, but you think there would be. because it's quiet and it's like there's a lot of tension building. There's never like, yeah, something does end up happening with like the axe dude, like kind of like coming out of like the shadow and like grabbing the axe and all that. But it's not a jump scare though.
Yeah.
It instead it's horror that is built through tension
Right.
and
Right.
the expectation of being scared. And that's where a lot of that feeling like comes from. And I like that scene a lot as well. That's a good scene to bring up.
And there were to also like say too, there were jump scares too. There were some that I didn't like. There were some that was like, okay, you didn't need that. Um, or
Yeah,
it was just like
there
typical,
was
But
for the most part, and when it comes to jump scares in this movie, for the most part, I didn't have an issue with any of them except for one. And the one that I did have an issue with was when she was in that mirror room getting fitted for a wedding dress.
yeah,
Remember when there was like something under her dress,
Yeah.
and then it kind of like cuts away, but then it
yeah.
cuts right back to her dress, but like all of a sudden it's like out of her dress and it jump scares you.
I see. I had an issue with pretty much every jump scare that lady was in. So
Oh, okay.
I had an issue. I mean, again, I'm not here like hating on it because like I said, the movie doesn't do it that often. So like I give this movie props for not doing it often. However, I think for this movie to be like perfect without doing his jump scares, I can't stand any of the ones with her. Like the one with the Annabelle doll like in the beginning when she thinks or what does or not the Annabelle doll, the doll that's saying mommy or whatever when it like levitates or some
Oh
bullshit and she
yeah.
like looks at it and it's the I
Yeah.
blink I think I blinked when that happened. I blinked when that happened and I blinked when the other one happened because it's so fast. But like I mean, first off, the CGI on that is horrible. I have no idea again, there had to have been someone like on an off day that like was their first day in After Effects or something that made that fucking look or made that
Yeah.
like thing because that was awful. I have full confidence I could make a scarier face than that with just After Effects, um, and
Or makeup.
or
Like
just
I don't.
makeup.
I feel like.
Um, and
So
yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of any of those kind. I honestly wasn't a huge fan of any time that lady or whoever that was in the movie. Which
Yeah.
you guys can maybe
And
answer my question of I still don't really know who that was.
I have no
wait,
idea.
who?
The was she just like the victim of the axe person maybe
Wait, who? The
the
old lady?
the old lady, yeah.
Well, remember when Lorraine was describing to Ed like what was going on, and she was like, "There's three entities in this house." Um, she said that the wife was
Oh,
a
you're right,
man,
yeah, the entities, yeah, the
the wife,
victims,
and
yeah.
then the mother and
Yeah, okay,
the
so then
mother.
yeah, I was
And
right, so the
yeah,
yeah.
so the old lady was the mother of the daughter because remember she was like the wife had an affair and the husband wanted to kill her or something, so she ran down into the basement with her mother
Yeah,
and then he killed them both. So
right,
that
right,
old lady is the mother of the daughter. But
right.
like that's really I don't remember seeing the daughter or I mean I guess we did or sorry not that yeah, the daughter of the mother. I think we only saw really one time. I think when she was in the basement and then remember when Lorraine saw the axe man and then like he did axe her in the head
Well, I
and then like
think yeah, I think what really threw me off. Now, okay, to be fair, the I told you guys this earlier, but I wasn't 100% focused the first like at least third of the movie. Like there were bits where I just for some reason could not pay attention that like good. But then once the movie kept going, I was like pretty much glued to it. But the whole thing with Annabelle, I feel like threw so much of the plot of this movie off for me. Like I kept thinking that there was something else happening while this family, like while they're investigating the family, because like every time Annabelle was on screen, I was thinking that there was another demon, like the Annabelle demon was back or something was related to that like old lady at first. And that's why I was confused. And that's why I still kind of am because it's like why the like and I get Annabelle was in it maybe because like the demon was playing on Judy's fears and all that. but I just feel like Annabelle as a whole just throws shit off because anytime Annabelle is always involved in like every plot in these movies. She's involved with the Bathsheba plot in the first movie. She's involved with the Valak plot in the second movie. She's involved. Isn't is she involved in the third movie? I can't remember.
They probably found some way to incorporate her one way or
I
another,
think
even if it was just a scene.
maybe like I think it was maybe a cameo. I don't think it was any. Oh yeah, because remember that was when they got Annabelle. Remember when they're driving with her in the back?
No, that's Annabelle comes. That's Annabelle
No,
comes home.
that's.
I thought.
Oh wait, maybe you're right.
Yeah, Annabelle comes home is when she's in the back.
Wait, what was the
That's why it's
opening
Annabelle
scene?
Comes Home.
What was the opening scene of
It was
the third
the boy
Conjuring?
getting the boy like doing like stuff that he'd be dead. Remember, like he's like
Oh my
spine and
God,
everything. His
thinking about.
bones are like cracking and shit. Like
Oh, you're right.
another
Maybe
reason
I'm
that
so
movie is just
confused.
not good.
Oh, maybe I'm
Logic just
confused.
gets thrown out the
Yeah,
window.
yeah. I don't know if Annabelle was in the third one. If anything, it was just like a maybe a little cameo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Well, also too, like uh, because Lorraine also said that there's a demon controlling them and like hiding behind them, but they never reveal who the demon like who that is. They never figure that out.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
just like
that's another. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're fine. They just like never. I don't know. Like they honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, this movie's really all over the place. Like it's like they wanted to fill this movie with like a million different plot lines and like not fully explain anything, but just get to the finale of like what they wanted. Like they knew how they wanted to start it and they knew how they wanted to end it, but they didn't really know how to get there. So they kind of just wrote whatever they wanted to, and then like it ends off on such a heartfelt, warming, ending, but like you don't even explain it. Like the big flaw for me in this movie is that it doesn't really focus much on the Smurl case. It just focuses on like other shit. And again, like I always talk about it, but like the accuracy just drives me crazy. Like this mirror is not even it's not even attached to the Smurl case. They like the mirror was based off of a real case, but like a small portion of a case. I just looked this up, by the way. That's how I know. But they just attach the mirror into this case. It doesn't align. It's just so stupid. And that was really the only reason was to connect it back to Judy. But like the fucking mirror has nothing to do with the Smurl case and how they got the haunting. Like at all. I just I it's so infuriating because like you can't just say, "Oh yeah, this is their final case. It's one of their most craziest cases." And then you really don't showcase it like that well. Like I thought it was good in the beginning. Um but like I don't know. I don't know. It makes me like almost lose respect for the writers and like the elements of it that I don't know. It's just hard to overlook for me sometimes because it's just unnecessary. Like they didn't need to do all of that. That's why there's just so much going on. But it's still like not it's not that bad if you just look at it from a movie standpoint. But
Wait,
yeah.
so are you I'm confused. So are you saying that cuz you said that you can't like I agree that like I said, this movie's far from perfect. There's a lot of issues, but one of the reasons why I'm giving it more respect than maybe what it deserves is because, well, no, it does deserve some respect because it doesn't do the same things that all the other Conjuring movies or every other horror movie does today. It actually is like this movie felt like it's actually like the only horror movie that is learning from other horror movies' mistakes. Now, again, it's not perfect. There's still mistakes that it makes, but like the question I have is like, are you saying that are you judging it based off of just the movie itself or from the real life case? Because you said there's things that you can't over. I'm just asking because I'm just trying to get where you're coming from, and
Well,
then we
I
can
don't know.
talk.
It's hard. It's hard because it's like like I get it, like if you because I love The Conjuring, so like I don't want to be a hypocrite and say, oh, I love The Conjuring, but like I hate this movie because I mean The Conjuring might be one of the movies that's like the least accurate,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I just feel like when you're having a movie like based on a true story, I mean, God, literally take any fucking real life movie for example, like anything, and like that's so pivotal to the real life story, then they just don't include it or they fabricate it like so much in a movie standpoint. Like why? Like I just don't understand why they always have to go so extra and beyond from like what actually happened. Like mind you, the research that I was just doing the the mirror is what gets me the most because it's not even connected to the Smurls, okay? The mirror is just based off of a man who used it as a scrying mirror. So basically like mirrors are known to be portals to talk
Mm-hmm.
to the dead, maybe even, demons. And this guy did it a lot and he would try to conjure spirits through it. Um and I guess stuff eventually started happening and then um Ed and Lorraine Warren were called and they collected the mirror. And they said that it was a haunted mirror and there was demonic stuff and yada yada yada. Okay, obviously that's a like that's in the paranormal world in that realm, mirrors are considered portals. So that is just the most basic thing, which is real. Why don't you just take that and make that part of the reason why the Smurls are haunted? Why do you have to throw in this whole fabricated, stupid story of, oh, a husband murdered his wife and his mother in law in the basement, and now they're shown when they don't even explain it? They don't even explain anything. They just have them be there, never explain the demon behind it. Like, you literally could have just said, oh, yeah, you know what? This mirror has been known to have, demons come through it and yada yada yada. Yeah, you could say, oh, the family's coming through it, but no, what? It's just so fucking stupid. It's dumb and it's dumb and it's dumb and it's dumb. I
Well,
just hate it. It's
I
just so annoying.
I agree with you, but remember, the first Conjuring did this. Like, and the thing is like, if you want to talk about disrespect, you talk about the first Conjuring movie. But I'm looking at them from a movie, like as a movie. I'm not looking at it from how accurate, how respectful it is to the first case. Because if that's the case, none of these movies deserve respect. But I'm looking at them from a perspective of, is the movie good? Is the horror effective? Is it respectful to, certain emotions, certain character development, certain immersive, tendencies, things like that. I'm just rating them based off of how good they are, and how effective they are, and how respectful they fit within certain genres. And I mean, you're right. Like, I agree with you, but like, the first Conjuring movie is one of the greatest horror movies of all time, one of my favorites, and they do something very disrespectful. They make Bathsheba the sinister spirit when Bathsheba in real life had nothing to do with it. So it's like,
Well, no, you're
they
right,
they should have,
but
made it.
but like this, but like I understand. Like I can separate the two. It's just when you're looking at it as an overall thing. Like I love The Conjuring, the first one, but I also hate it for that fact. Like it's just I don't know. It's just so infuriating. Like I just don't understand how you can like.
It's just for
I
money.
just wish they would. It is for money, but and then that's what's just so frustrating about it is
Yeah.
like I just want to sit down with these writers and these directors and just really just talk to them and be like, why are y'all doing it like this? Like but like, and that's the thing too, is like, oh my god, it's their final case, and they make it seem like the Smurls were like that was their, craziest case of all time, and it had this creepy mirror, and it's like you don't need it. That's my point. Is like they don't need this shit.
Well,
Like
yeah.
you don't need it. It's like taking like a based on like a movie based on a true story and adding in like the fucking character gets like cancer, but then it like goes
Hmm.
away and like that helped them like that helped them within the movie and like they became a better person about it, but in reality they never actually had cancer and never had this like you know really hardship in life, Like, what the fuck? Like, what's the point in adding that shit? It's not based on a true story. You're adding shit to fabricate it, and you're adding it to make it more dramatic and more of an impact on your audience.
Hmm.
Like, it's just, it's so irrelevant. Like, I don't understand that. But,
A lot of true story movies though do that. Like there's
oh,
probably like
I
1%
know.
of like true story or based on true story movies that are actually like accurate. Most of it is
I
just
know.
a
I mean,
marketing stunt to get people to sit in the theater.
no, I mean, I know that. One of my favorite movies of all time is Remember the Titans. Like, that's based on a true story, but, like, I know I've read up on that movie before, and a lot of what, like, the idea of the movie is, like, accurate, but, like, a lot of stuff that happens within it did not happen in real life. And
Hmm.
it's like, once you realize that, that's when you start to not, you have a different look at it. It's like when you're, watching a movie, but then if you actually go back and like read the books that it's based off of, you start to notice things that were not in the movies but were in the books. And you start
Hmm.
to hate it because it's like, how could you just ignore such an important topic, or why did you add, more on top of it and blah blah blah. It's like,
Hmm.
I don't know, like, I keep saying the same stuff over and over again, but it just gets to a point where, like, I just wish someone would stay accurate to, the real life case or whatever it is, and like just go based off of that. I just don't know why it needs to be so theatrical and elaborate, but like, it just sometimes can feel like a cop out of, like, trying to make a genuine good horror movie, based on true events. And here's the thing, the Warrens didn't really get, much stuff during some of their cases. And it's like, okay, well, why don't you, add more that's not too dramatic and too theatrical, and seeing fucking Annabelle growing to be like 20 feet tall and climbing through that, like, the house. Like, it's just, it, I don't get their mentality. Like, why do they go for that to make it more theatrical? Why don't you go for something that could correlate to it in some different idea, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean I
But
agree. Yeah. But like as
whatever.
what would you say like just let's just pretend that like you don't know anything about the lore, you don't even know if the Warrens are real, you don't know anything. You don't even know ghosts are real. What
Pretend the movie
what
is just fiction.
yeah,
Yes,
Like,
I know, guys.
what would you say about this movie then?
I mean, I'd say it was pretty decent. Like, I'm not like, guys, I can separate the two. I'm just telling you my perspective from both ends because I feel like you have to do that for movies based on a true story and shit. Um, but from just a standalone movie, if I didn't know any of the lore, whatever. I mean, it's pretty good. I think the movie could have been better. Uh, sorry, I'm so tired. I can't even like form my thoughts right now. It's definitely not better than the first Conjuring. I don't think anything will beat the Conjuring in this, like, same universe or same idea if they were to make more movies. Um, I don't don't know if it's better than the Conjuring 2. It might be. I do want to rewatch the Conjuring 2 because I want to compare it to this and see. It's
it's
definitely better
definitely,
than Conjuring 3, though.
yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
There's
the Conjuring 3, don't want to even talk about it.
and there's bits that are interchangeably like that are like that some things the second one did better, some things the third one did better. There's certain things, you know, like the fire truck scene. Why James Wan included that, I have no clue. That ruined a perfect
Oh, yeah.
tension. It
That
ruined a perfect moment that could have created like great tension within its audience, and he just ruined it.
yeah,
Whereas like
that scene was just utterly ruined.
yeah, and there were
It could have been
moments
so
that
good.
yeah, and there were moments in this movie that it was better.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I agree. Um, Now, where I rank it being higher than Annabelle and Annabelle Creation, I don't know. Um, Honestly, I think it might be better than them. Like, I don't know. I feel like I said in our last podcast, I feel like Annabelle is kind of more of like a chiller movie that you just kind of throw on, and you clean the house watching it, or you clean your room, or you just kind of want some background noise on. I feel like this movie is more immersive, and I feel like it's definitely like a movie where you like a horror movie where you want to genuinely sit down and watch it. The Annabelle, like you can, but it's also like it's more of like a comfort horror movie. I don't know if this is more of if this is a comfort horror movie to me. Um like I feel like I couldn't get like cozy and watch this. I just would, it's just kind of like I don't know how to explain it. Um but yeah, I feel like it's higher than them if I'm going to be honest talking about it now.
What about you,
It's
Sean?
more similar. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, no. If you're still going, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say that I feel like it's kind of similar to how Annabelle Creation was filmed. It has the same vibe of Annabelle Creation, kind of, but I don't think it has the same vibe of the first Annabelle movie because I think the first Annabelle movie just feels more chill. Um, but that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I got you, Sean.
So you would rank it. So you would rank it. You'd rank The Conjuring Last Rites where again?
So Conjuring's number one. Conjuring two, or wait, fuck. See, I don't know if I like it more than Conjuring 2 though. Okay, let's just say for now Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, then I might put this one, Conjuring 4, and then it would be Annabelle Comes Home. Or fuck, Annabelle Creation, not Annabelle Comes Home. Annabelle Creation, Annabelle, and then it would be The Conjuring 3. So it's below Conjuring 2 and above Annabelle, the both Annabelle movies besides Comes Home because that one's just so
Right.
bad. So I don't
Okay.
know, but I feel like third place is really high. But the other movies just suck. So like, is it high, or is it just one of the
Well,
only
no,
good
it's
movies that came
I
out of
would
it?
say like just like I haven't even seen all the movies, but I would say like it's just objectively one of the better movies in the universe.
Yeah, it
Like
is for
there,
sure.
there's only a handful of movies in the universe from what I know. I haven't seen all of them, but from the ones I've seen and the ones I've seen clips from and the ones I've heard you guys talk about, um, there's only a handful that are even considered decent. And so I would consider this movie that we just saw today, I would consider it a little bit better than just decent. Like I would even go as far as to say it was good. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's amazing. I would say it was good. If somebody comes up to me and asks me like, "Hey, what do you think of The Conjuring 4?" I'd be like, "Yeah, it was good." That's really all I would say. Like I'm not going to praise it and like glaze it up and down.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Like if someone asks like, "Hey, I think I'm going to go see that new horror movie, The Conjuring Last Rites." I'll be like, "Yeah, I mean, it was good. Like, I recommend going to see it."
Dude,
Now,
go ahead.
if it was like if it was like a movie like from what you've described Annabelle Comes Home as, if someone was talking about that movie, I would probably be like, no, don't even bother, just don't waste your money on that shit.
Yeah, no, this was nothing compared to that movie. And I'm gonna say really quick too, another
Right.
thing I liked that I didn't really say was I liked the dialogue and the performances way better than probably. I don't know if I'd say no, I don't think anything was bad in the second movie, but like the performances and like the stuff in this movie actually felt like real. I know the awkward boyfriend. I have a feeling a lot of people aren't gonna like him, and I have a feeling that like, and you could even make the argument that like his arc that was pointless. You can also make an argument that the movie kind of needed it, even though there's a lot going on. Um, but I like how they nailed his awkwardness because I feel like that is so hard to do, and they could have easily screwed it up and made him into that one character, Carli, that pizza dude from Annabelle Comes Home, where like you just
Yeah.
cringe at everything he says and does. Um, and that goes for any character in this movie. I don't think there was one, at least that there might, maybe there's a couple that I'm just not thinking of. I don't think there was one performance in this movie where I was like, okay, that was cringe. Well, besides the kids with the Ghostbusters, but that I can kind of give a
Yeah,
pass since it's like,
that was
you
bad.
know,
That was
um,
just kind of like there. It was like
yeah,
one little
yeah, and it
snippet.
was pretty quick, and it was like you can kind of make the argument, oh, they're kids, and it's the '80s, and they're nerds like us, so it's like
Yeah.
um,
There was actually a lot of points in this movie where I thought the acting was like pretty good actually.
yeah,
Um like remember that scene when it was the same scene where I thought they had the fucking tripod light,
yeah,
but
yeah,
Oh
um
yeah.
remember when like the one daughter just started like going off on the dad?
yeah, yeah, that was good.
Like saying like oh like what, so you don't believe it because it hasn't happened to you? Is it
Yeah,
only real if you see it? But like she's like fucking like she's genuinely like you can,
yes,
or at least I can tell when an actor is actually crying versus when
yeah,
they're fake tears. She was actually crying,
right,
and like that was actually, especially from a character that's not even that important. Like sure,
yeah,
character wasn't that important, but like that was some very good acting, especially for movies in this universe.
exactly. And that I always I thought the same thing when I was watching that, and I even thought in my head, I'm like, dude, there wasn't even a scene like this in the first Conjuring. Now there were still great scenes like it. However, there wasn't something like this in the first Conjuring, let alone any of the other movies. Again, not that the first Conjuring movie
Right.
had to have it. It wasn't written to have something like that in it. But I was like, whoa, I wouldn't expect this in this universe. That was pretty good.
It
Um,
was a good scene. It was actually
yeah,
one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, despite the whole like when I was like calling out the whole light thing, which then
yeah,
you kind of
yeah,
debunked.
yeah,
Um, that whole scene, it felt real. It felt like an awkward dinner. Like it almost reminded me of the Hereditary dinner scene in a way.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
in terms of like the Hereditary one was more like a lot. Well, they're both dark, but like they have
yeah,
different like vibes. But just like that, like we're in a fucked up situation as a family, and
right,
none of us know how to handle it. And like just the way she just went off on the dad because he's kind of just like being a dad about it
hmm,
was just, and then like the whole like awkwardness of like the whole table just being quiet.
yeah,
Besides that, I thought it was great. Like that like I actually was like very pleasantly surprised by some of the scenes in this movie, which is why I actually like it probably more than The Conjuring 2, because The Conjuring 2, while The Conjuring 2 has a lot of great moments, um The Conjuring 2 felt just a lot more theatrical than this movie.
yeah. That's what I was telling Carly too. Um, Now I liked all the. I do not like the Nun movies at all, but I like Valak or the Nun in The Conjuring 2. So I like all the bits with her in it, or him, whatever the demon is. But anytime the girl was possessed, or anytime Bill Wilkins was speaking through her, I like minutely cringed, and I was just kind of like, all right, like this isn't The Exorcist. Like you're not, I know you're trying to be that, but this isn't. And like,
Wait, when Bill talks through her?
except the one scene, when like the background is like blurred out. That was the only scene that I actually like really liked. But the rest, I feel like where she's like, I don't know, like the voice was kind of creepy. But there's parts where she's possessed where I just felt like there's just it just felt off. I'm sure if it was my first, like I think I saw it in theaters. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I still didn't think it was better than the first movie. But like I was like, oh well, like something kind of felt off, like with her. Like, if they made her look like Mrs. Perrin in the first movie, or The Exorcist, it would have made that entire movie 100% better. But they just made her look. It just looked like they drew veins on her, and they just like darkened her eyes and chapped her lips, she didn't really look like she's a girl that's possessed. You know what I mean?
So, okay, here's what I'm gonna say. I, from her in that movie when he's talking through her, I like that because that actually happened in the real case. If you like watch, there's a clip of the Janet girl that they filmed with his voice coming through her. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, they play it
I
at the
have
end of
seen the
the.
video.
They
It's
play it at the end of the movie too. Just the
oh,
audio,
do they?
like in the
No, yeah.
credits.
Well,
I mean,
this is an actual video of her, and she's just a normal girl. Like she looks normal. Like when they're sitting on the couch, um, and the voice sounds pretty similar too to how it is in the real life case. So like I don't mind that. I actually thought it was pretty cool. Um, because I feel like you really don't see like possession like that, at least from within this like. I mean, I guess you do see it in this universe, but it was done differently. But yeah, I did. So I really like that actually, but I did have a problem with the makeup, like you said.
I
Like that was just really stupid.
I
It was
would
ugly.
I would feel the same as you, but the problem was that everything else was theatrical. So it made it feel stupid and cheesy. Now, it like if they made it look now, okay, listen, you can make a possession look now. Let's just imagine that possessions like whatever whoever's listening or like whatever we believe, if possessions are real or not, whatever. However they're supposed to look, however they're not, isn't the point. The point I'm trying to make is it didn't convince me that like it didn't have the tension or the um like the first Exorcist is cheesy, you know what I mean? But the beginning of when she is possessed and when she gets possessed, she doesn't even look like she doesn't have like the scars and all that shit. But it convinced me she was possessed. But there's something about this girl in the second movie. Maybe I need to rewatch it, whatever. But there was something about the girl where I just felt like I was watching a movie, Whereas they could have done what you said, where it was just her face, where she wasn't. Maybe she looks normal, and the spirit's talking through her. But the way they did it, in terms of all the elements, the cinematography, the CGI, the makeup, the acting, I just felt like it was, I don't know. And then it contradicted itself when it was being super theatrical later on. Um, so that's what I mean when I say, the makeup, or maybe I shouldn't have used the word makeup, but you know what I'm trying to say now. And that's why like I like the Bathsheba stuff in the first movie, because even if that's not accurate to possessions, whatever, you believed that that it's not her. Like something screwed up is going on. Um, Whereas the second movie, I don't know, it just felt like they could have done something better, but whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
It's been a while since I've watched The Conjuring 2. I need to rewatch it. But I kind of do agree with what you're saying from what I can remember anyway. And there was a lot of moments in The Conjuring 2 that I do really remember liking. So I'm not saying I don't like The Conjuring 2. I still think it's fine.
Right, yeah, same. I'm not trying to shit on the movie. I'm just saying like there's things that I think people give the second movie too much credit for. Um, that I think the fourth one did better, and vice versa. There's things that the second one did better that the fourth one didn't. I think the use of the demon, like Valak in the second one, there's moments where it was done better than the demon in the fourth one. Whereas the fourth one, it's just a dude with an axe running around. I mean, I say that lightly. That's not actually how it is, but you know. Um, so I think there's things that they both do good and bad, vice versa, on that can be studied. But um,
The thing with The Conjuring 4 and kind of like all the Conjuring movies except for the first one, because I've just watched the first one so many times I couldn't even tell you. But um when it comes to like the actual like who the demon is, what the demon's motives are, what the genesis of the demons are in the Conjuring 4, truth be told, I honestly have no fucking idea the answer of any of those. But what I appreciate about the Conjuring 4 is that I think despite whatever the demon is with the whole mirror shit, I think that it portrays um the haunt itself very well, and I think it executes the movie in just a way where
Yeah,
I
no,
forgot where I was going with this.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you were
It just
saying, or go ahead.
it just it, like when it comes to movies like this, I very rarely actually care about the lore of the demon or
Hmm.
whatever, or the lore of the story. What I want is um I want a good scare, and I want the characters and the story to be told in a way where I can wrap it around my head where it makes sense.
Yeah,
Even if I don't understand, like, wait, where did this demon come from? And why is this mirror possessed? And like, why did this happen? Why did this happen? At the end of the day, all I want to know is like, whatever's happening on screen right now, is it is it believable?
right.
And a lot of this movie I thought was, especially when it came to because I think what this movie did very well, more than arguably anything else, was developing its characters. I think that this movie in the universe, from what I've seen anyway, has the best writing in terms of character development. I know the movie focuses a lot on Ed and Lorraine Warren and Judy Warren as a family, and just also the other family as well, like
Hmm.
that dinner scene that we were talking about. Um, I just think a lot of the scenes and a lot of the dialogue in this movie and the acting was just executed so well. It's like I almost don't really care about the lore of the demon because everything else great. I don't even fully understand the lore of Hereditary at all, but I still love Hereditary for what it does to me as an audience member.
Yeah, I agree, and I almost wish the movie was close to 3 hours because I think the main problem, because I believe this might be a movie where some people say like they liked it, but they don't know why, but something feels like it's not 100% good, whatever. I think one of those things, and Carly was kind of saying or talking about it, was that they don't. I think the character development is really good on all of Lorraine, on Ed, Lorraine, Judy, and Tony, and like their side. Even like the priest was. I mean, his death was kind of, they could have done that better, but even him, like
Oh
it
yeah, that
was
could have been done better.
it was decent, but like the family, other than like certain scenes, they could have actually made this movie, if it was longer, they could have fleshed their side out even more to where it was like the first
Yeah,
Conjuring, where you do get more time with them and more time with the stuff. Because like I was thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, this is a big family, and they can like really grind this out with like maybe you see more about the grant, like 'cause remember we saw the
the grandmother.
grandmother, she was yeah, she was like out in the bed or whatever, and they said, oh, she fell down the stairs, but we didn't actually see it happen. So like we could
Yeah,
have seen a lot of stuff happen to this family like the first movie, but their main goal was to focus on the Warren family. And by doing that, you're gonna have some stuff that might feel like it's a little bit imbalanced, or it might whatever. But I give it a little bit of a pass because this is a movie about the Warrens, and the mirror was connected to them, and the demon was. This isn't like
yeah,
where Judy just happened to want to investigate with them, and then all of a sudden now they're all together. No, this was a movie about the Warrens. But I still
yeah,
think they could have done it to where they fleshed out more of that of the other family that was with the mirror, the Smurls. They could have fleshed it even more out if the movie was longer, but to have a Conjuring movie be 2 hours and 50 minutes, I know it's kind of tough from a business perspective. Um,
yeah.
I still would have, I mean, me, I would have been down to still see it, but I kind of get it. So
Yeah, I agree. I think that if they did add more context with the Smurls, um, I do think that it genuinely would have boosted the movie up more points for me as well. Because I don't think the movie's perfect either, even though I'm giving it a lot of praise.
yeah,
A lot of the points in the movie did kind of seem like it was just rushed and it just kind of happened. Like the grandma falling down the stairs.
right,
It's just
right,
like when the fuck did that happen? And also like the movie it kind of like built up because I actually thought the grandparents were living with them and then they just kind of disappeared. So I
yeah,
So
thought that was
the
going
yeah,
to be a
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
so the
And then
grandparents, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the house is a duplex. So the grandparents live in the other door, like the so like it's the split down in the middle, which that also is kind of a flaw because the inside of that house is way bigger than what it looks like on the outside, but that's like every house in every TV show and movie. Um, but like there's two front doors if you look at the house,
mm,
and the
right.
grandparents lived in one, and then the other lived they lived, oh my, I don't know, unless they knocked down the walls and shit. But
Right.
um they live like in
Yeah,
the
I mean,
other door frame fucking duplex, and then they live in the other one.
yeah, that's a good point, but they still just disappeared
Well, yeah,
like
they
throughout the
yeah.
movie. And I get with the grandmother, like she fell down the stairs, but I feel like after that was kind of like excused, like they not only did they not show up anymore, they just weren't mentioned at all anymore. It's
yeah,
like
Yeah.
it's almost like the writers realized, wait, we have too many characters. Let's just fucking write the grandparents out
right,
because we don't have time for them. That's kind of
right,
what it felt
Here
like.
here's the thing too. They could have taken any of their cases and put the mirror in it, and it would have been the same exact thing. The Smurl case didn't really have that much of an impact on this movie, but it's just because they added the mirror in it. They could have taken any case that they've probably have done, and it would have been the exact same thing because the Smurls don't really do anything in this. Like they're like, yeah, stuff happens to them, but like it's not because they don't have much of them in it that you just like you start to lose interest in the Smurls because it focuses more on Judy because of this fucking mirror. Like I
Yeah.
think they just chose the Smurl case because that actually was their last big case, but they barely even touched upon it. So like it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, that's why like I think we can all agree if they actually like expanded on the Smurl family more and developed them more, the movie could have just objectively been better. Now for
yeah,
me,
Yeah.
this is just me. I think while they could have been expanded on more, I think they were expanded on and shown on screen enough where I don't necessarily have any issues directly with the movie, but I am thinking if they did more, I would have liked it more, but I still understood enough. Like I still like the point was still getting across to me what the
right,
characters were going through. Like I wasn't like thinking, okay, these are poorly written characters. Like I still understood what they were going through, what their situation was, and we still saw enough of them where I was like, do you know what? Okay, I get it. And
yeah,
whether the mirror had any real life connections with them or not, I'm not really like that. Like I don't know, and I'm not looking at it from that point of view. It would be nice if the writers were more accurate to the real life case. Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like they were, but there's nothing we can really do about that except try and look at this movie on just an objectively, is it good or bad? Is it at least well written? Um, and Yeah, I do agree that they could have added more stuff with this with the family, but you know, and yeah, it would have been a long movie if they did. I still would have went to go see it. Fuck it, why not? The movie didn't even seem that long, honestly. It seemed longer than it actually, or it seemed shorter than it actually was, at least for me.
yeah. Well, I
But
think
I
I
think it's because
saw. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it's because like I for the most part was enjoying watching it,
Hmm.
and when you enjoy watching a movie, it kind of just goes by quicker.
Right.
Um, I really, really had to freaking piss the last like 45 minutes of the movie. So it
Yeah.
started to drag a little bit towards the end because I just really had to go to the bathroom. Like my bladder was about to just like explode. But I didn't want to leave because we were approaching the end game of the movie. So but yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on it. And also just to kind of like throw in my like before we went to go see the movie, um kind of like how Scott said, I I I could not have possibly had any more of a negative like approach to this movie because I hated The Conjuring 3. I thought it was pretty horrible, and um every other movie in the universe except for The Conjuring 1 and like I guess The Conjuring 2, they're just like not great or they're just bad. And so this is the fourth movie in the Conjuring universe. Like it's very rare when the fourth movie in any series is like good. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is like John Wick Chapter 4. Um, and so I had very little expectations going into this movie. I was expecting it to be bad. Like I was telling myself like, man,
Yeah,
I don't
me
even want to
too.
see this movie. Like this movie's gonna suck. We're wasting our time. We're wasting our money. Why don't we just watch a good movie instead? Like I was being so pessimistic with this movie, and I think that also kind of like boosts a lot of my like praise for the movie is because like this movie wasn't like hyped up out of the ass for me, and like I was watching the movie and like for the most part of the runtime of the movie apart from a couple points, um I was kind of thinking to myself like, do you know what, this is not that bad actually. Like this is actually kind of good. Like, it's not great, it's nowhere near The Conjuring 1, but like for what I was expecting, like, fuck, like this isn't bad.
Yeah, that's
um
basically my feeling.
and there were so many points in the movie where I kept thinking to myself, like, I'm just waiting for it to go downhill.
I
I'm just
know.
waiting for it to just nosedive. Like 15 minutes into the movie, I'm thinking, man, okay, it's been okay so far. Like the whole opening scene with like Lorraine giving birth to Judy, I was thinking like this is pretty good actually. And I'm just waiting for this shit to go downhill and just
Yeah.
nosedive and plummet into the dirt. And there were points in the movie where like, yeah, okay, that was like the whole like the when Annabelle grows into the big doll fucking thing. That was kind of weird. I don't know why they included that in the movie. That was just kind of stupid. Um, and then like the jump scares, and then like the stupid like Marvel humor in the two students said with the Ghostbusters and all that shit. This movie had points that like if you could okay, you could have lived without that. I don't know why that's in the movie, but you can tell enough where like the makers like Michael Chavez and the writers like I do genuinely think they are learning from their past mistakes. At least I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so
Either
too.
that or either that or James Wan just had a really heavy hand in this movie. One of the two, or both.
So what
But
yeah, what are some, I mean, we kind of already talked about some negatives, but like what are some things that we don't really like um or we think could have done better? I know we kind of already
Mm,
briefly talked about it, but
my biggest
well,
my biggest like gripe with the movie, personally, um, I don't even really know if it's a gripe, but this movie's not rewatchable in the slightest.
oh,
Like I never see myself rewatching this movie. Even though I liked it, I never really wanted like it's not nothing nothing brings me to want to rewatch it like at all.
see, I'm actually the opposite. I think it is rewatchable. And I don't know if I'm saying that because all the other movies are just shit. Um I mean, I'm not like it's not like, Alien Romulus, the last like good, if you well, it's sci-fi horror, but like that, I was like, oh yeah, I want to
It's a
rewatch
horror.
this. It's not like that,
Yeah.
right? But like, I feel like this is one of those movies that, or it's not like the first Conjuring, where like it's the most, it's like rewatchable, but like, I feel like with this one, I think it's, to me at least, maybe it's like a subjective thing. To me, it was rewatchable.
I
But
would actually let me just like let me like clear the air. I would rewatch it 100%, but nothing like draws me to rewatching it. Like I'm not thinking to myself like leaving the theater like, man, I want to rewatch that. Like that
oh,
was
okay,
like
yeah, 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 yeah.
like I would rewatch it. Like if you said, "Hey Sean, do you want to rewatch The Conjuring Last Rites and get like a second viewing of it?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, yeah, let's do it." But like
I
I would
got you.
never just like I would never just think to myself like, "Do you know what? This movie deserves a rewatch. I'm going to put it on." Because I feel like if I rewatched the movie just like by myself, I just wouldn't really care enough.
I got you. Yeah,
Now,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
now if I watched it a second time, maybe that would change, you know?
hmm No, I think
Um
what you said like clears up kind of how I was thinking. I thought you just meant like in general, like you're never gonna like. I don't ever want to see this movie ever again. I thought you kind of
oh,
meant
I
it like
see.
that. Yeah.
No,
Um.
yeah, that's not what I meant. Like, I would definitely rewatch it, but like, you know how you just watch a movie and you immediately just want to rewatch it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
you're like, wow, that movie's really rewatchable. I can see that kind of becoming a regular. I didn't have that thought with this movie,
Oh. Okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
I did have it with like The Conjuring One. Like, I've watched The Conjuring One so many times. Um, and
Yeah.
That's not really like an issue objectively with the movie. That's more of just a personal thing.
hmm hmm
Um, in terms of like things I think are objectively wrong with the movie. Um, I feel like we've kind of talked about a lot of them already, but just what's some stuff we talked about?
Well, we talked a little bit about like the
CGI.
CGI with the older
Yeah,
CGI
lady.
is
I
bad.
think that is
yeah,
clearly the
CGI.
worst part of this movie. Again, I have no idea how that got greenlit. That was
Yeah, who knows?
horrible.
I don't either.
The
I want to ask them about it.
the oh, like the giant Annabelle. I don't know what they thought, why they
Yeah,
thought
that
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 was
was
alright.
weird.
Well, I
I
think
don't know
I
Um,
what they
think
were doing with
I
that.
think the whole Annabelle concept we just don't need it. I get that was Judy's big fear, but at the end of the day, we don't need it. I think making her the pinpoint of the
mhm.
mirror is already enough for
Yeah,
her to get involved with these visions and shit. Like
I think
I don't get the I don't know if Annabelle like I don't know if it was this demon that was making Annabelle more prevalent to her, but like I
I,
find that hard to believe because in Annabelle Comes Home, Annabelle was prevalent to her in that, and that like, so I don't know what the point of
this
Annabelle
this
really
is just me.
was.
This is just me spitballing. I haven't seen the other movies. I agree. The movie does not need Annabelle in it like at all, but just to play like devil's advocate, remember in The Conjuring 1 when she had that like insanely traumatizing scene with the Annabelle doll?
hmm
So I think that might play a huge part into as why she has like nightmare visions of Annabelle so much, is because like I think it just like literally it quite literally left a mark on her psychologically, like that part when she was a kid. And so it's like it literally is like kind of one of her greatest like I don't know, like greatest fears is the best like way to put it, but like it fucked her up as a kid because of like how like traumatizing it was. And she just like it's almost like trauma that she never got over, that just kind of like when this demon is like attacking her psychologically, I don't know if it's like using that trauma, like kind of like the smile demon where it uses her trauma against her, or if it's just kind of something that like her mind does like automatically.
that's what
Yeah,
I
it
was
on the
I don't
telling.
delay.
That's
I
what I
don't
was
think it
telling
has anything
Carly.
to Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the Annabelle demon directly at all. I think it's literally psychological stuff with Judy, with the Annabelle doll. Just the doll. I don't think the demon has anything to do with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it might just be separate.
I think it does. So the question that I get raised, and I still have raised since the first Conjuring, I still don't fully understand why that happened in the first movie, because I I always ask myself, because it was Bathsheba that was in the chair with Annabelle,
Right.
right? Um, I don't know how the
Oh,
hell
was
Bathsheba.
it?
Yeah, I don't know how the hell Bathsheba
Oh,
teleported. Um, and I don't know how she was able to infest Judy like that, because Annabelle was
Oh, isn't
locked
it
in the cage.
right? But isn't it because in the first Conjuring movie, Judy made that necklace for Lorraine, and then Lorraine like forgot it in the basement, and the Bathsheba somehow like linked that to Judy, and that's how it happened. Wasn't it like that?
oh, maybe.
Uh,
Because Judy like made like the locket. Remember the locket
yeah,
that
yeah. No,
Lorraine pulled out of the sink?
I know the locket. I'm trying to remember if that scene, how that went.
Because it gets stuck on something and it breaks off of her neck. Remember she was when she was in the basement, Lorraine, or she was somewhere and it was like choking her by pulling the necklace back, I think, and then it
Yeah, and then the
eventually
necklace
like broke
broke off of
off.
her neck.
So maybe that's why, but
It-
I also don't know what the like how unless Annabelle wasn't actually out of her cage and it was just like a vision of Annabelle like she saw. I don't know.
well, that yeah, I think the Bathsheba with Annabelle. I don't think that was like literally like the doll out of the cage. I think that was all just
It was just
like
another way to
in
incorporate
this a
Annabelle.
vision.
It what?
Yeah, I
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. Is like that probably is what's well, that's what I'm trying to get to. Is like, why is Annabelle so? Because we didn't see really like any. Even in Annabelle Comes Home, we didn't really see a lot of. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong about this, but we didn't really see a lot of development where it would make Judy be so afraid of Annabelle. Like it just
Uh
happened, or am I just forgetting
no.
something?
Annabelle literally was the one that made all of the spirits come out.
No,
She was
I'm talking
controlling
about,
them.
yeah, but before that, I'm talking about with why does Judy and Annabelle have such a connection? Because they have a connection before the movie even begins.
It might just be okay, in the first Conjuring, remember, they get Annabelle only like a short amount of time before the first Conjuring movie.
Right.
So when in the first movie, remember she sneaks into Ed brought in like a reporter or something to do to do some story, and they looked at Annabelle. Remember Judy just snuck in there and was like she was fascinated by Annabelle. It might have just been like a fascination she had.
Oh, you're right. Okay, there was a
Um,
scene with that. Yeah.
I
so
was gonna
that
bring that up, but I
yeah,
didn't know if that was
that
relevant enough.
that could have been where it all like stemmed from. Um, so I don't know.
I
Maybe
still
that's just
don't.
why she likes it so much, or not likes it, but is intrigued by it so much.
I still don't think it's like explained that well, and I think it might just be that like it was just an excuse to incorporate Annabelle
Oh
because
yeah,
Well, yeah.
without a
I mean,
doubt.
it's
Yeah.
it's the same thing with the nun. It's just to again. It's just all the fabric, fucking whatever the word is, in dramatization of everything. Like the nun too. The nun is connected to Lorraine, but like we don't need it. But like it's
well,
just there.
yeah,
They
but
just wrote it in
the
that
nun
way.
was the one that was behind the whole possession though of the family. Valak.
Yeah, and Annabelle was the one behind the Annabelle Comes Home and all of
Yeah,
that
but
things coming to
Annabelle
life.
wasn't behind the Conjuring though. It was Bathsheba.
Well, yeah, but I'm just telling you, like, I don't know.
That like my point is like every other demon or entity. By the way, just ignore Animal Comes Home. That movie doesn't even exist. And
But I'm telling you because
even if you do want to consider it, it happens after The Conjuring, so it still doesn't make sense um with the events of her being so traumatized by Annabelle. It's not like she touched the doll. If she touched it, like Zach Bagans, that would make more sense of like why she's so connected with this trauma with Annabelle. But it just happens, and then like I don't know, but and then it's just yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah, no,
um,
without a doubt, the only reason Annabelle in this movie, without a doubt, is just fan service. Like though, like I'm just like, just to like kind of heal my like head canon. I'm just kind of telling myself it's like a trauma response
mhm,
of Judy.
yeah.
But yeah, like they definitely did not need to have her in the movie, and it's definitely just for fan service. If you look at it literally, I guarantee it.
Well,
Wait, what the hell was the opening scene of The Conjuring? Is that what they got?
Maybe.
the opening scene of The Conjuring was the Annabelle case when they were talking to the sisters or whatever, or
No
the
shit. Okay, well that's the thing. I looked it up. They literally just included Annabelle because the fans were already like in like they just wanted to incorporate her more because she was in the intro and it was scary for people to watch it. So they just used that for Bathsheba to use on Judy. And yeah, it was basically to because they wanted she wanted the fucking Warrens to leave the house, so she went to get their daughter, and that's why she used Annabelle is literally just because it was to create more fear because Bathsheba uses objects to terrorize people. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
much it.
that's why she then gets traumatized, and then you see an Annabelle. That's why this movie has a connection more now to Annabelle Comes Home because you see more of Judy in it because that movie's solely based, I guess, on Judy. Um,
Annabelle Comes Home is?
yeah,
yes,
but it's not
Thought we weren't
though.
considering that movie.
It's
yes, but I mean, it helps explain why Annabelle is prevalent to Judy's life.
it still doesn't.
Yeah, it does
But
because
well,
she's terrified of the doll in that one,
But
though.
she's
That
you
not.
see,
weird.
She's sleeping
I
right.
just
No.
but you see, I disagree because I put that puzzle pieces together and I haven't even seen Annabelle Comes Home. Like I gathered what
Well,
you just
yeah,
like what
Sean, but like my point is that it shows more of it in Judy because Judy also has psychic not psychic abilities, whatever the fuck her mom has, the ability she has in Annabelle Comes Home.
I
right.
know. No,
You
I
don't
know.
see that in
You're. I
Conjuring.
know you're right. I just think that movie is just so stupid, get god awful that it makes no sense even making it
Yeah,
canon.
the movie is shit. We've collected this, but like the idea of it is it flows into this movie
It's
with
like
just Judy and Annabelle and her terror. Like she's just terrified of her,
it's
and
like
Annabelle's an
trying
OP bitch.
it's like trying to explain the demon from Hereditary, but in a Disney Goosebumps episode. That's like saying that that's
Like
canon.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. I'm just saying like
I don't think that you need to watch Annabelle Comes Home to understand Judy's fear of Annabelle
No,
and
you
like
don't.
why she has that like connection with Annabelle. At least I didn't.
Well, you don't, but you I don't know because she just randomly gets these psychic powers. Like you see in you see, she gets just random abilities in this movie. And some might question, well, how the fuck did she get it? And it's like, okay, well, if you actually watch Annabelle Comes Home, you know that she got it. She's had it since she was little, but they also do show her really young, like the flashback scenes in this one with her having it too.
Yeah,
So
aren't there points in Conjuring 2 where she literally sees Valak as well? Because there's a scene where Valak is in their house and she's like, "Mom, who is
yeah, but
that?" And it's
yeah, but you
Valak.
don't need to have a vision to you don't need to have vision powers to see Valak. They saw Valak in the Nun.
Yeah, but like just if you want to make that argument that like she was like like
Well, she's
seeing
connected to the
things.
cases, but she doesn't have like you didn't see her have like her abilities in those movies. She actually had her abilities within Annabelle Comes Home. Like you saw her have those.
Right.
That's why I'm mentioning it. And like with Annabelle as well, like Annabelle knows that she's scared of her. So
Wait, I thought we did. I thought it does touch on her having the abilities in Conjuring 2, though. At least a little bit.
was it? I don't
I'm
remember.
like I'm not
If it does,
paying I'm not paying that much attention. You're just
okay,
talking
but just
about
letting
the
you
second
know,
one.
I'm just letting you know, Annabelle Comes Home. Sean, you haven't watched it, but like it touches the most upon that element of Judy. That's why I'm
Should
mentioning
should
it. Okay,
should I watch Annabelle Comes Home?
No.
you don't have
Okay.
to, but if you want to see the connection between it, then yeah. But the movie's so bad, like I really don't want you to kill yourself after watching it.
Damn.
Well,
Like it might
she
take your mental health
she
down a
said
hole.
you're gonna want to kill yourself after watching it.
Yes, you might. You might. I know I wanted to.
Yeah, I probably
That
would
shit
want
was
to.
painful. It was so painful. And then you had McKenna Grace in it. She's literally in everything.
Who
And
the hell
like,
is that?
mind you, you know who she is. And mind you, there's probably been how many different actresses to play Judy? They've had like a million.
McKenna Grace. Who the fuck is this?
Dude, you've never seen her?
I literally have no idea who this is.
Oh my god, dude. I mean, she's like iconic, but like when she was younger, she was literally in everything.
Dude, the funny thing is,
Like
I had
she
a
was getting
similar
so bad.
reaction. I had a similar reaction, Sean, when we were watching it. When she said that, she's like, I was like, who's that? She's like, you know who that is. And I looked her up and I was like, oh, I think I know who it is. But like, I don't think I haven't seen her in that much stuff. And Carly was like in disbelief.
I've literally never seen her in anything. I have
Dude,
no
that's
idea who this
wild.
is.
She's literally she was like the child actress. Like she was in, if you look at her filmography, dude, she's in so many movies.
Dude, I've
And she's
never
still
seen any of
acting.
these. There's no way she's the child actress.
Dude, maybe you're just, maybe because you're a guy.
For me, the child actress was Josh Hutcherson and the girl from fucking what Anna Sophia Rogue. Those were
Yeah,
the child actors for me.
I agree.
Oh my, I mean, like okay, but she wasn't really in anything. Like they weren't in that much things.
What are
McKenna
you
Grace was
talking
in a
about?
lot.
They were in a lot of things.
They were a lot of things, my dude.
Oh my god, look
A lot
at
of iconic
McKenna.
things.
Okay, but you need to look at McKenna Grace's
I,
filmography, dude.
I
It just
am,
keeps
and I don't
going.
recognize any of this shit. Like I recognize a lot of them, but I've never seen any of these.
Well, she like if there is like a she usually plays a lot of like younger versions of characters. So like there's a lot of movies where she'll be like the younger version of, like it's a flashback scene or something, and she plays, that. And like that's what everyone like
She's
people
only
would
19.
literally like joke about it. Whenever
She's
someone's trying to hire like a female actress, they'd always be like, "Oh, get McKenna Grace in." She's like in a lot of stuff. She's
that,
only 19, mind you.
yeah, I'm looking at that. She's a literal child. I have no idea who she is, honestly.
Right,
Like
well, whatever.
I see she's in the Ghostbusters movies. I've never seen those.
Yeah, she's in Gifted with Chris Evans.
Haven't seen
She's in
that
a few
either.
new movies coming out, especially with yeah, Mason Thames, the guy who's in Black Phone, the main character. They're like dating in real life. And they're in a
That's
movie
crazy.
together coming out.
She's
Well,
in Ready Player One, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know who she was in Ready Player One. It might have been a really tiny role.
well,
Well, whatever. The point is, we're not talking about Ready Player One. We're talking about The Conjuring.
is there any final
Um,
things we wanted to say?
My
yeah,
favorite
fuck the movie. I thought it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the conclusion of it, I think it tied the universe together, I guess. It was very heartwarming seeing other people at the very end, like Carolyn Perrin, and they had one of the daughters in it too, Mackenzie Foy. Well, that's the actress's name. Y'all, that's Renesmee in Twilight. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was in it, and then they had, what's his name, David from the third movie was in it. James Wan makes a cameo. Valak, the actress who played Valak, I think was somewhere in there. I just don't remember where. Oh, and then the mom and the daughter from The Conjuring 2 were in it. It's just like full circle moment. Very sweet. The vision that Lorraine said she had of, seeing them in the future. was also very sweet.
There were parts of it that
Uh,
like, I mean, I wasn't like fully emotional or anything, but there were parts of it that like I kind of had um like a what's the word, epiphany, or I don't know what the word is, but like when I was seeing them all together, and this happened like in the beginning of the film when they were kind of having like all the cookout, like the cop and Drew and everyone else. Like I was like, dude,
oh yeah, the
I
cop.
was like seeing all these characters return, and especially at the end when they're at the wedding. I was like, dude, like in a way, it's kind of emotional for me personally because this is the Conjuring One was the first movie to get me into horror, and
Yep.
that movie, like when I saw it like as long ago as I did, I was in such a like different mental state, and just like thinking about this whole like journey, like from my first ever like horror movie that or the movie that got me into horror, and then like got me into like a lot of films in general, and like until now, and now I'm seeing all those characters that like when I was a kid, like that kind of made me like a little emotional. And I was just like, man, like it's been like, a while, or it's been, well, yeah, it's been over 10 years. And I was just thinking, I'm like, man, that's wow, um but yeah, so like
Yeah.
there's certain things that I did like that this movie did. Again, I'm not. I mean, it could have done things better, right? Again, it's not perfect, but like I do like little stuff like that. I think the movie was as good as it probably could have, just with the current director and current how the rest of the films were. I'm just so glad this movie wasn't like another La Llorona or Conjuring 3.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely refreshing. Even if it's not like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece,
Yeah.
just even like a 70% exceeded my expectations by miles.
Yeah.
Cuz like that's kind of what I think this movie is, like a 70%. Like at the end of the day, like I don't think it's like worthy of like anything above an 80%, but given what my expectations were, um, I'm pretty satisfied with it. And honestly, maybe after a second rewatch, I'll like it more, you know, or maybe I'll like it less. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, I think it was pretty solid. It just feels like, and again, maybe because, I didn't see like all of the movies like when they first, came out. Um, and then we're just kind of watching them all together. So it might not have much of an impact as someone who, might have watched every single movie in the universe, over the course of like the 13 or fucking however many years it's been since the movies have come out. But yeah, I mean, when I watched the first Conjuring, I remember we watched it with the cousins downstairs, Scotty. At least I think that was my first time watching it. Um, or second time or something, and I just remember falling in love with that movie. And that was a long time ago. It had to have been 10 years ago, or a little bit
Hmm.
more than that. Um, and yeah, I just remember watching that and obviously being scared out of my mind because I was so young. And then, it's just like it's one of those things where it's like it's a journey that you go on, even though a lot of the movies are, shit. It's just kind of that like, you grew up with them. Like these have been, the movies that, we watch whenever they come out because it's all connected. It's all part of the universe. You have Ed and Lorraine and you feel like you're a part of it as well. So I feel like this is a good movie for them to, end it on that kind of note. Yeah, obviously it wasn't perfect. There, are, still many flaws within it, like we had mentioned. But
Yeah, I just saw your Annabelle review and you said that she was aura farming. That's funny.
Yeah.
no, that yeah, literally. Um, but yeah, I don't know. it's just still unfortunate that, you know, all the movies like aren't that good. But
Yeah.
at least this one was good, I guess. Yeah, I feel like I'd say it's good. I don't think it's just like decent. I think it's better than that. But it's still nothing spectacular that, you know, I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
But for what they were trying to accomplish, I think they did the job well. And yeah, I think it ended beautifully. I just wish it wasn't like so compact with everything, you know?
Hmm.
Like, I feel like they definitely could have done some things better to, you know, make it not kind of all over the place and like just trying to fill in details to get to their final point. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I feel like I didn't talk like at all during this thing.
No, you
So I'm just trying to put stuff together.
no,
No,
you're
that's
good.
fine.
Um,
So what would you give it out of 5 stars if we want to do the letterbox ranking?
mm,
And if you're not sure
um,
right now, that's cool.
I feel like a 70% is kind like what Sean said is kind of in the realm I'm going for.
A 70% for me is a 3.5 star
See,
because
that seems just so high to me, but I know it equals the same.
because I consider every half a star 10%.
Well, I mean, it is, but like, I don't know why. It just seems so. Like a 7 out of 10, like a 3.5 out of 5 seems so much more than like a 7 out of 10, even though it equals the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I
I,
feel weird giving the movie 3.5 stars. I was I was even like kind of considering for a minute just giving it 4, but it's not worthy of 4, I don't
No,
think.
I
At
don't
least
think
not
it's
no, it's not
yeah,
4.
yeah, I don't think it's worthy of 4.
at least
Well,
not
see,
after a first view.
I gave The Conjuring 2 3 stars. And I don't know if it's better
What
than The Conjuring 2.
do I have The
I'm
Conjuring
probably gonna
2?
give this 3 stars. I don't know what I did for the Conjuring. I think I gave the Conjuring 2 only like 2 stars.
Oh, I have 3 stars on The Conjuring 2. I don't have a review, I just have it rated.
You only gave The
Um,
Conjuring 2 2 stars?
Let me see. I don't know.
Dude, what?
I need to rewatch The Conjuring
Oh
2.
no,
Right now
no.
I have
I gave it two and a
stars.
half. So like the
I gave
same.
Annabelle 2.
Um, yeah, I'll probably give this 3 stars. I think I did like it better than. I at least liked it better than the second movie. Is it like objectively better? It might be. I think I still need to sit on it and think about it, but for now I'm gonna give it 3 stars. So
Okay,
I'm gonna give it 3.5.
that's
that's see, I feel like 60% is just so low. But I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because
I might
because like if you're looking at this by like college, like if this was like a college like project, I feel like giving it a 60%, like that's a fail. I don't think this movie's a fail necessarily.
that's what I'm saying. Like I look at
Letterboxd
it.
isn't looking at it by college percents though. Do you know how many movies are 3 stars that are like actually amazing?
Yeah, no, I know, but that's how
But
I'm
like that's
thinking
what it
about it though.
actually is though. Like that's what it equals.
That's
So
just
it's
how I
hard.
look at it. Like, and like, would I consider this movie a fail? I don't consider it a fail.
I'd give this movie like I feel like a 70%. Okay, I look at it like grade level 2. This is definitely not an A. It's nowhere in an A. I don't even think it's a B. I feel like it's like a C plus.
I would say a C minus.
You think C
See, okay,
minus
I don't think.
Yeah.
or maybe a
All right,
C?
I want to make a separate video on rating movies. I think we can make a separate video on that. But for now, just go with your gut, and then maybe the next video we could make could be about rating, because I have a whole rating scale that I've actually thought pretty decently on that we could probably apply, so there's no confusion about this. Um, but I'm still gonna give it 3 stars. I have a reason for that. But I don't want to get too into it because this video is already pretty long. We're at an hour and 40 minutes, so
Damn. Okay, well, I'll just say I'll give it 70. I'll just stick at a 70 and leave it at that. Um, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I'm
Honestly,
just
I could just give it 3 stars if I like. I can understand that argument because I'm thinking about it. The only reason why I want to give it 3.5 is because even though there's problems with the movie, I still feel like the pros outweigh the cons with this movie, which is something I can't say about a lot of these other ones. Like there were more things about this movie that I did like than I didn't like, but the things I didn't like, I really didn't like the CGI bullshit with the old lady and her dumbass jump scares and like the Annabelle fucking giant thing. Like those are things like okay, that kind of like almost took you out of it.
yeah.
But like there's just a lot of stuff that I think this movie did very well. And I also just give like on top of things like with the movie, like it's just like the idea that like the filmmakers learned from their past mistakes that almost makes me want to give it more points. Even if it doesn't make the movie a 10 out of 10, it's just like the
like the respect or
like I have
whatever.
like the respect, yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah,
And
I
then the
can
fact that
see it.
they didn't hesitate to chuck a dog at a wall, which is what I think a lot of filmmakers
Yeah.
Well,
are just
because
too
you
pussy
know
shit to do that.
about that though, that actually sorry, I keep bringing up like the actual case, but that did happen. Like according to the family, like they did say their dog levitated and would be thrown against the wall. So they took that and put that into the movie, which yeah, I do applaud them for. I mean, like in the first Conjuring, they did actually kill the dog. Like the spirit did kill their
Right.
dog, but like you
But
don't
it was
like
off
see it
screen.
happening. Yeah, you don't see it happening, so it's not like as like emotional or impactful.
Right.
But literally the only time that I jumped in this movie was when that dog got thrown into that wall, and I almost started crying.
Right.
Um,
And because nobody likes to see animals get hurt,
no,
right? It's just
especially like
But
that.
but that's the whole
Like,
point
right.
of that's the
what
whole point
the
of horror.
fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
then
what makes it great is nobody wants to see that.
and then the bitch ass, because that was when Judy was possessed, and then that was like when she just smiled after she did that, like she was enjoying herself, and I'm like, oh, you little bitch. And then, but the dog was fine, so it's okay.
I actually thought it killed the dog for a second.
I I
That's when
did
I was really
too.
like, "Oh fuck, they really just like did that?"
Well,
But then the dog was like, "Fine."
yeah, I don't know how that didn't break any bone in that dog's body or like any harm, because that dog was back to normal within a second. But whatever, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, it's
So
just another that's just another reason why I like have respect for the movie is because that's I just feel like that's something because people are just so sensitive nowadays and obviously the film industry knows that.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Um
100%.
and they like Craig Mazin in The Last of Us. It's like they fear like offending people. And I just appreciate filmmakers who are like, "Hey, oh, are you offended? Well, guess what? I don't fucking care
Yeah,
because you're gonna get like life is gonna be offensive. Like
right.
we're not gonna sugarcoat our shit because you can't handle like stuff that is like real life shit.
We're not gonna coddle you in a fucking horror film.
Right. Like you're here you don't like you don't go to a rock concert and then ask them to turn down the volume.
Yeah, but that's the film industry nowadays.
Right. And so I do have respect for them for just putting that in and the fact that that happened in real life too and they chose to put it in makes it even better too.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very good on their parts. But
Well, all right. Any other things? If not, I'm gonna close it.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna give it 3.5 stars. Maybe if I rewatch it, it'll be more or less, but I think that's gonna be my initial review.
Gotcha. Carly?
um, Yeah, I think I'll still stick with my 70%.
Okay.
Um, Again, I feel like I barely said anything and like I didn't even say everything I wanted to say, but it's fine. I'm
Well,
just so tired I couldn't.
yeah, that's okay. We can talk more about it, like, because I want to make, you know, we were gonna make a video. We are going to make a video about just talking about the first Conjuring, talking about how good it is. Maybe we could talk more about this movie when we talk about that. I think maybe
Hmm.
making a video about the horror genre in general, we could talk about that. So there's other opportunities we can, you know. So, and I'm sure things will come up for me too that I forgot to say. So it's all good. But
All right.
anyway, yeah, so that was the Conjuring 3 and or Conjuring 3. That was the Conjuring 4. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video we make. Bye.
But